Yes, good evening. My name is Wallace Gator Bradley, and I'm the host of the Bradley Report. We got a very interesting day. I'm also the president of United in Peace, Inc. This show is being produced and directed by none other than the chairman of United in Peace, Inc., and that is my wife, Terry Marsh Bradley. So we're going to talk about this bogus poll that says Chewy is going to beat the mayor. We're going to talk about Willie Wilson and his fight with Jamal Green. But what's most important is that we start this show, so I'm going to say to God be the glory. That's my story. My brother, let's hit this right here. You know, Mayor Lightfoot has been threatened. Her life has been threatened. And she's an elected official. We saw what happened with Paul Pelosi, where they attacked House Speaker Pelosi's house looking for her. It's the hate that's put out by those Trumptonians, the ultra-right, and the racist people like the president of the Fraternal Order Police, okay? When you hear Paul Vallis, that's being supported by the Fraternal Order Police, that's being supported by the ultra-right, okay? Saying that crime is because of Mayor Lightfoot. You feed those individuals who will hurt Larry Lightfoot, the mayor, or their family member, built on hate. So we cannot have Paul Vallis to be elected mayor. You follow what I'm saying? Because he fits in with that Trump narrative. Okay, he got the support of the racist Fraternal Order Police president. He getting money from the ultra-right. Okay, so I want to say this to my viewing audience. Join me in this prayer. Father God, please continue to bless Mayor Lori Lightfoot with your mercy and grace and a hedge of protection around her and her family. Hit that right here, brother. I appreciate it. You know, Mayor Lori Lightfoot is doing a lot of things in the city of Chicago. That piece that you just saw, it makes you understand that she's not an alien that fell from outer space. She's a human being like all of us, okay? She got family values and everything else, okay? My brother, hit that next piece up there. Yes. No. That right there. Yes, sir. You know, there's a lot that's happening, and I want to get into this and to share this with you. The wonderful thing about Mayor Lightfoot and this election, out of all the candidates running, she's the only one that has stayed true to doing all that she can for the residents of the city of Chicago. Even during the pandemic, she got things passed, okay? She got things done, okay? 1 minute, let me see what we got here. Let's deal with this Chewy piece. Is that Channel 7? Yeah, this one right here.
We're having audio issues.
Man. Okay, we having little audio issues. With that bogus poll that they're talking about, that I was trying to show to you, it says Chewy has 25%, the mayor has 18%. Okay, they talked to 700 people, so they say. All right, but then when you say what 700 did they talk to, it couldn't have been people that know that Chewy is not about being inclusive for all the people of the city of Chicago. Because even though we as African Americans and real progressives and liberals, there's about being inclusive of everyone, Chewy hasn't, to this day, since the death of Harold Washington, has came out vocally of making where African Americans can get their fair share of jobs, contracts, and resources. So evidently, that wasn't included in the poll when they asked the questions, who would be the best mayor for the city of Chicago? Would it be Chewy? Can't be Chewy. Because the history is going to be known by all those that's a part of the Mayor Harold Washington Committee. They're always celebrating his birthday. It can't be the African Americans, congressmen for sure. They were aldermen when we helped get Chewy elected because we believe in the coalition that was created to get rid of the machine. Because we all know that in 1989, when Chewy and others created a special election that helped elect Mayor Daley mayor, and he ended up doing the last 2 years of Harold Washington's term, while they got rid of sitting black mayor. We know it can't be Paul Vallis saying he coming in third with that bogus poll when he get 18%. When we know that he's being supported by the Trumptonians and the ultra-right and the racist fraternal order police based off the fact that they hate the mayor, in my opinion, because she's African-American woman. And we see the hate that they putting out there blaming the mayor for all the crime in the city, including the two individuals that's in the race. They were aldermen. You can't blame the mayor for the crime in your ward and you not be responsible as the alderman of the ward. You have to foot that responsibility too. Every elected official had the power to stop the crime. But one thing is for sure, if you stop a mayor that's doing the best in all that she can for the city, and when all these others that's running don't have a track record for doing anything for the city but pushing hate and violence against elected officials. So Chicago, I'm saying this. We got to do all that we can to re-elect Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot. Okay? That's the February 28th election, 2023. Don't get Mac fooled. And this fight that's happening between Jamal Green and Willie Wilson, that's a strange battle. But everybody know, including Alderman Sawyer, the name of the game and the weapons of engagement is to knock your opponent off the ballot, especially if they don't have enough signatures. You know? Okay, little technical problem is over. Hey, hit that piece, Channel 7 News, where they're talking about the poll.
National campaign
Back it up
benefited
a little
from
bit.
nearly
Start
$200,000
over.
in independent expenditures made.
Come on back. Start there. You go start it right there, right
Garcia's
from there.
campaign is firing back at some of his critics who are
Thank you.
calling them desperate today. The poll in this race showing that there may be some new insight we're gathering from this into just how the race is shaping up with just over 2 months until the election.
Jesus Chuy Garcia benefiting from high name recognition in the mayor's race, and early on the polling puts him as the front runner. The poll, paid for by a union that has endorsed Garcia, shows him leading the field with 25%, with Mayor Lori Lightfoot in second at 18%, followed by Paul Vallis at 14% and Willie Wilson with 10%. Mayor Lightfoot's campaign noting the poll was conducted in mid-November and says it does not reflect the current state of the race. Paul Vallis encouraged by his showing, especially since he has not been running TV ads yet.
In every poll we've seen, we're very close to being in a runoff. It really seems to be a three-person race.
But while Garcia's campaign is basking in the poll, he is also facing scrutiny over political donations linked to Sam Bankman-Fried, the now indicted founder of FTX Crypto. Garcia this afternoon afternoon taking part in a congressional hearing on FTX, while his rivals note his congressional campaign benefited from nearly $200,000 in independent expenditures made on Garcia's behalf by a PAC funded by Bankman-Fried.
When you got folks putting that much money into a race that's unopposed, you got to ask questions about what are they really trying to do? Who are they trying to influence?
Garcia's campaign spokeswoman issuing a statement saying these are misleading and desperate attacks from floundering campaigns. Congressman Garcia is and always has been a skeptic of cryptocurrencies and continues to advocate for stronger financial regulations on an industry he considers ripe for fraud. Garcia did donate to charity a $2,900 direct donation, but the campaign said he had no knowledge or control of the other money spent on his behalf. As for the poll, ABC7 political analyst Laura Washington says it's not good news for the mayor.
I think it's, for Lori Lightfoot, it's troubling because she is the incumbent and she's been spending money to get her message out in a way that her opponents have not. But it is early.
And it's also worth noting that the race will heat up after the holidays, with other candidates expected to launch TV ads, and polling will be influenced by attack ads against frontrunners. A lot can change in 2 months.
You know, I have to agree with
Still some scattered showers.
Laura Washington. Soon as things get to going and they get to seeing who's who and who's what and what have they done, very good. Hold up. It's going to be a difference. First of all, whoever puts up the poll normally got it read to certain questions to make sure that who's ever paying for the poll, like I'm hearing the unions paid for the poll. What is it? Union 150 paid for the poll. So of course they're gonna make the questions where it's gonna be guaranteed that any answer that you get is gonna support their candidate. Their candidate is Chewy. But a lot of things is gonna come out, I'm quite sure, about Chewy, especially now that that young man has got arrested. But he ain't gave nothing to Chicagoans. How can he get 25%? They must not have called any African Americans, because he has not included. He say he's all inclusive, but everybody know he hasn't been inclusive when it comes to speaking about fair share for African Americans getting their fair share of jobs, contracts, and resources. Until Lori became mayor, did we, as a part of the residents of the city of Chicago, got their fair share. Let's see this piece about Jamal Green.
Examining mayoral candidate Jamal Green's nominating petitions. Just like 4 years ago, a consultant to candidate Willie Wilson is moving to knock Green off the ballot.
Our political editor, Mike Flannery, has more.
When Jamal Green filed to run for mayor in 2019, he ignored one of the most basic requirements. He was not registered to vote. A close ally of candidate Willie Wilson, political consultant Ricky Hendon, forced Green to withdraw. 4 years later, Hendon's again complaining to the Chicago Board of Election Commissioners that Green hasn't followed all the rules and should be kicked off the ballot. Though this time, Green's also trying to kick Wilson off the ballot.
Ricky Hendon, what we're asking, I mean, there should be an investigation here, a federal investigation into Ricky Hendon as well as Willie Wilson.
Green's thirst for revenge faces several obstacles, including the fact that Wilson filed more than 4 times the number of voter signatures required to win a ballot spot. As hearings on all of this began today, Wilson's lawyer said that even if all of Green's objections are sustained, Wilson still deserves a place on the mayoral ballot.
Even if those are sustained, the candidate will still have more than the 12,500 minimum required.
Now, Mr. Finkel, you're indicating that you have some motions, one or more motions under Rule 6?
Right. It will be a motion to dismiss.
This battle over ballot slots will likely continue into mid-January. I'm political editor Mike Flannery.
You know, everybody know, like I said earlier, that's going to be a heated piece that's happening. You know, and I want to show you right there, brother. 1 minute, right there. I want to show you what the mayor is doing as opposed to the lies that everyone is saying that she ain't doing. I'm going to need about 3 or 4 minutes because of that sound piece. Okay, hit it right there.
We have to see the city as something that includes neighborhoods south of Roosevelt Road and west of Ashland. The flawed economic theory that if we keep making the same old crowd rich, a couple of pennies might roll to Brownsville or Austin or Roseland or North Lawndale. They had 30 years to test their theory of economic development. And what happened to our neighborhoods over that time period? We starved.
I'd like to welcome everybody here on behalf of Mayor Lori Lightfoot, and we're here to kick off Invest Southwest. And I think it's important that everyone here know that we're not here just to plan, we're here to do.
A dramatic surge in cases of that deadly mystery virus.
Little did we know when this program first started what we would be facing a few months in: the pandemic, the economic crisis, civil unrest. Through all of that, our team worked tirelessly to keep this program on course.
We set out to catalyze private investment on top of what we could do ourselves. And to date, private and philanthropic partners have committed $300 million additional dollars for this project. We've laid the foundation, and as we move into our second year, we're going full steam ahead. For the last 2 years, Invest Southwest has brought transformative, visible changes to our South and West Side communities, totaling to date $1.4 billion in investments in public, private, and philanthropic contributions.
And it's given those of us outside of government the opportunity to work with the public sector to strengthen our city.
We have actually deployed public funds in a way that has generated a multiplier of private and philanthropic capital.
I don't know the mayor. We put this coalition together with merit, and that reached her desk.
Our job was to match opportunity with talent that was already there.
It's the first time in the history of the city that there's an initiative that promotes minority developers like myself coming together to say, here's what we want to put in this particular community if we have the resources. Sets the game apart.
Other mayors have believed in minority participation, but this is the first time in our city's history that a mayor believed in Latino and minority and black and brown leadership.
It matters who's on the fifth floor.
I came in the door talking about equity and inclusion. It's meaningless if it doesn't have concrete ways in which people can see, feel, and touch it.
We look forward to opening this new advanced outpatient center in Bronzeville, which is our latest, but certainly won't be our last, initiative to advance health equity and wellness.
The way that this is impacting folks on the ground is that they're starting to see that the next chapter of their neighborhood is under construction.
For people who have lived in this community for so long, they're excited about what their community feels like. It's not just one standalone restaurant, it becomes a community movement.
I remember where we were before this, and I finally feel that there is an open line of communication between the city in general and the community.
You can't go into community and think you know. You have to go into community and listen to what the people who are here know.
We spent the last couple of years of the Invest Southwest program listening really well to help design the kinds of improvements that we've worked together with communities on to identify, to try out, and then to make a long-term part of the landscape of their neighborhood.
We have a voice in what's happening in our communities. This is the way to do it, for us and by us.
Resources have a wonderful way of following vision, and the communities already have their plans. They just need our help in getting them to the finish line.
When you think about commercial corridors and what they mean to communities, you think about the retail and the restaurants and the vibrancy of the arts and culture. And for me, it's really about who sees the space and how they're inspired.
We're here for the long play. So we're making investments today and getting shovels in the ground that will bear fruit for decades.
It's been an investment in the future of every one of these communities and neighborhoods that haven't seen any of this stuff before.
We can see change happening in Chicago.
Those developments are breaking ground, under construction, and soon will be cutting ribbons and people will be moving in. That's my favorite part. It's actual people moving into actual homes that they can afford in the communities where they want to live.
This pivotal project is a turning point, not just for this block, not just for this community, but for the city as a whole. This is just an exciting time for the community.
It's up to us as developers to really put legs to that vision and to bring it to fruition. It can be done. It's not about one deal. It's not about one developer. It's not about one community. This is about the entire city, building by building, project by project, partnership by partnership. We can really make a difference that outlives each and every one of us.
We're not done yet. We're going to keep rolling up our sleeves and doing the work because this is the right thing to do in this moment for us to make sure that the entirety of our city gets to prosper. That must be our ambition and our goal in this great city.
Hold on. You know, I want to close out by saying we got to believe what we see, what this man is doing. And I want to tell you, everybody got a right to vote. I mean, everybody got a right to run for an office. But there's only one. That's the mayor. February 28th, 2023. Vote, don't choke, re-elect Mayor Lori Lightfoot. To God be the glory. That's my story.